Hi, I'm Stacia Nelson with Pivot Strategies, coming to talk to you a little bit about this back to school season and what it means as a parent and what it means as an employer. You're likely going to be experiencing some kind of effect from back to school, even if you don't have small kids yourself, because someone on your team or colleagues that you work with are trying to juggle the back to school season during coronavirus. And so I thought it'd be helpful to share some insights from my perspective. First thing I want to talk about is the importance of support. And that goes a long ways with your team, with your employees, and it's also really important for you personally if you do have young kids. So let's talk about what support means. Support, I'm thinking about personally, what kind of caregivers are my kids going to need so that they can focus on getting their education and development, since they're not going to have that normal in-person experience that we were hoping for. And from a employer perspective and a worker perspective, I'm thinking about the importance of that support for me to be successful in the work that I do and for me to have the time to really focus on my work. Also, as an employer, I'm thinking about what kind of support does my team need? Whether they're going to be working from home and they need a standing desk or some kind of other tool that's going to help them be more comfortable at home, or whether it's implementing some new technology that's going to help us all collaborate better and more efficiently as we're working from distance. And we're also thinking about clients. So what kind of support are clients going to need? If people are not able to go back to work or not able to work full time because they're balancing kids at home like we saw in March and April and June, what can we do to be supporting clients and be prepared for needing additional capacity? So we are actually hiring right now, which is kind of unusual. A lot of people are freezing any new hires. We are doing the opposite, and I think it's going to position us well for the months ahead into the end of the year. Second thing I want to talk a little bit about is flexibility. It's been the name of the game since March. Everybody's been flexible, and it's really helped us to see that a lot of us can do our jobs remotely, especially those who work with computers and technology. We're in the world of communications and change management and training. We work a lot with IT teams and with HR teams. And so we're finding that we were able to do our work and transition pretty seamlessly into a completely remote work environment. Now, of course, we're all missing the time with clients because there's a lot of magic that happens when we're all in the room together. But we also see the value in having that balance. And so we are going to be mirroring clients. If they're going back in the office, we're going to be joining them back in their office as much as possible. And we're also continuing to still do our work from home as much as possible too. So looking forward to continuing to have that flexibility into the year. In terms of how we're handling our own internal policy, we are asking employees if they want to come back to work to come back on a volunteer basis. We have an office that we are usually always at 1 day a week together, and we're going to have that 1 day a week, but it's going to be voluntary in terms of whether or not people come in. And that way they'll be able to, feel safe and make a decision that's best for them. And lastly, I want to talk about space. Space has been a big thing I've been thinking about a lot ever since March, really. We saw a lot of people working from their kitchens or their living rooms or wherever they could find a quick spot to set up an office. A lot of people are sharing office with a partner or spouse. And for me, space is really important because I need to focus and I need quiet in order to do that. And so I am planning my space a lot different this time around for the fall versus what I did before in March. My office is going to be far away from all the action and far away from the kids so that I don't have little people coming in and interrupting me throughout the day, but instead I can choose when to turn off and go take a break and be with my family. And in terms of our space for Pivot, we also have made some changes. So we had a large office that was very open concept. Well, that's not really a good scenario right now with everybody needing to be 6 feet apart. So we actually changed offices, and we have multiple offices now. So when people come in, they can space out and be in separate rooms. But then we also have large rooms that we can rent out, so conference rooms that we can use in our office space when we do all want to be in the same space together and still be safely distanced. And so we can use that room for an hour or two because we don't really need it all day or all week and be paying for it all the time. So those are just a few of the ways that I'm thinking about it and actions I've taken in order to adapt in this world of needing support and flexibility and thinking through space. we are going to be having a bigger conversation about this exact topic on Tuesday, September 22nd. We're going to have panelists from Cargill, Abbott Laboratories, and Ameriprise that will be joining us to talk about HR communications and how they're handling the back to work conversation. Please join us if you can, and thank you for listening.